water levels depleting, taps running dry, long serpentine queues for a single bucket of water.
Water problem is a national issue actually.
Rainwater harvesting, the project which started with a fanfare had gone nowhere now. If we've been saving the rainwater, it would have been a very big boon for our city.
Lots of water crisis. For the last 1 month, we've been facing this crisis. And in last, say, about a week or so, we barely had a supply of, total supply of, 30-35 minutes. 5 minutes every day.
From Maximum City to Millennium City, it's the same story every summer.
We hardly get water, there is hardly any supply, and it's just about 4 to 5 minutes in the morning and same in the evening.
हम कभी 1 बजे करते हैं, कभी 2 बजे, कभी 2:30 बजे, ऐसे रुक के आता है पानी इतना.
I personally have not got water for nearly 20 days, right? Not a drop. And I was borrowing water from my neighbors in buckets.
What is the main reason for the scarcity that we are seeing in Gurgaon for the past 2 months?
In fact, there are 2-3 reasons which cause some problem. First of all, you see there are 4 or 5 underpasses work is going on, so it is the water pipeline is broken and water supply is disrupted. This is one reason. Second is sometimes electricity supply is disrupted and whole line got vacated.
Cities across India facing an acute water crisis.
पूरा देश इस समय जल संकट से जूझ रहा है. हमारा more than 54% area water stressed area hai.
There's a huge water scarcity in our city now, probably because of lack of rain.
Citizens of Bengaluru battling a bigger crisis. Effluents dumped into the lakes have begun seeping into the groundwater and turning it toxic.
Bengaluru being, the population being this high, so it has affected it in a measure that I cannot even describe in words.
Monsoons are coming, they're not very far away, Hopefully water crisis will be over then,
Quality of water is not good. We don't know from where they get the water and come, It's not pure. It's not potable.
I don't know we can survive in Bangalore. Maybe for next 3-4 years it is going to be disaster.
But this is not your fight alone. Mirror Now will stand with you and keep asking the tough questions. Why are cities staring at a water crisis again? Why are authorities turning a blind eye and allowing the Aam Aadmi to fall prey to the tanker mafia? Mirror Now report.
Every city across India is facing a severe water crisis right now. Severe water crisis. One of the worst hit is Gurgaon in the north. But Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, parts of Mumbai, Delhi, Noida, there is a horrible water crisis happening across the country. And for some reason, it has absolutely no space in any of the news channels and it has no space in any of the public mind. What are our governments doing? Why is it that none of us are getting clean drinking water? Is it not the responsibility of the government to make sure that every home gets clean drinking water? Instead, they have now allowed the tanker mafia to run riot in every one of our cities, and that's because most politicians have a stake or have some sort of profit that they can make from these tanker mafias. Where are the tankers getting their water from? Is it from groundwater? Is it from polluted lakes? Is anybody in the government even checking the portability of the water to make sure that it's actually fit to drink? Is it even checking to find out where this water is coming from? The question that I'm asking is very simple. Does anybody in any of these governments care a shred for you and I and our children and the kind of water that they're drinking today? Today, let me tell you, viewers, it doesn't matter how many lakhs and crores of rupees you spend on buying yourself a fancy apartment in a gated community, because a lot of those gated communities don't have water. And when they don't have water, you have to get the water from a tanker that nobody is tracking. Nobody knows where this tanker is coming from, where this tanker is sourcing its water from, and how clean that water is. So you might have thought that you managed to arrive and give your family a certain quality of life, but you have not. Because you cannot, as a member of this country, as a citizen of this country, you can never assure yourself of clean drinking water. Never, ever assure yourself of clean drinking water. You can never tell your child that you will always get clean drinking water. It is not a possibility in this country. That is the reality that we live with. It doesn't matter how rich you are. You will never have, you will never know for sure that the water coming into your kitchen taps that you will use to cook will be clean drinking water at all times. We bring you a ground report on this channel, and we're going to continue to check every city at this point to find out what's going on. I want to remind you that the mess that's happening in Delhi between Arvind Kejriwal and his ex-minister Kapil Mishra has to do with water tankers. But is anybody talking about the water? Nobody is. Because the water has to do with you and me and our health, and nobody cares about that. People only care about the politics. Today we are going to focus on the problem in Gurgaon. To give you a recap, and there's a reason why we're looking at this, because it's the same across the country. Gurgaon was given permission to build a city in less than 10 years. Nobody provided the water. The piping was just not ready, and this is what has happened in Bangalore, in Chennai, in Hyderabad, in Mumbai, in Noida, where governments have been handing out permissions to developers to build these massive complexes. But where is the water? Who is going to supply the water? S.K Agarwal is the former member of the Central Water Commission. We're going to ask the members of our panel today to help us understand who takes responsibility for water. Ashish Dua, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Raman Malik, spokesperson of the Haryana BJP that runs the government. Vimlendu Jha, environmentalist. R.S.Rathee is Gurgaon Citizens Council. We're very glad to have him here. Shalini Banot is a resident in Gurgaon. Sumati Kataria is also a resident in Gurgaon. Shalini and Sumati, I'm going to start with you because on my show, citizens always come first. Shalini, please tell us, what have you been going through as a resident in Gurgaon? Have you been getting water, and how often?
So our situation is actually very critical, and we do not get a supply of even 5 minutes per day, and we have to actually depend either on asking DLF to give us a tanker, or otherwise we have to go ahead and pay as high as 800 rupees per tanker, which is only for around 2000 liters of water. So the situation is actually very critical currently, and it's now become very difficult, and with the scorching heat that we have right now, it becomes very difficult to cope up, and with a family to support, you just can't actually I am actually working, so I have to actually my one side I have to actually see that the water is coming, and the other side I have to manage with my work, which is a very, very critical and a very difficult situation to be in.
Tell me something, Shalini, do you know where the water tanker water is coming from and if it's safe to drink?
Tanker water is the boring water that they actually get. So that is the only thing I know. And as far as cooking and everything is concerned, we do not depend on the tanker water. So basically there we actually depend on the RO, or we actually buy water from Bisleri or Kinley, and that is how we actually manage.
R.S.Rathee is also a citizen right now. R.S.Rathee, please tell us, what are the people of Gurgaon facing at this point?
इस टाइम बहुत ही क्राइसिस है, बेसिकली खासकर न्यू गुड़गांव में जो हाई एल्टीट्यूड एरिया पर है, और इस वजह से क्या है कि पानी पहुंच नहीं पा रहा है इस एरिया में, और गवर्नमेंट इस टाइम जो डिजाइन किया पॉपुलेशन पे, गुड़गांव के अंदर 30 लाख पॉपुलेशन रहती है, लेकिन लगभग 15 लाख पॉपुलेशन को पानी प्रोवाइड नहीं कर पा रहे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। बहुत ही क्राइसिस है इस टाइम, और टैंकर के ऊपर डिपेंड रहना पड़ता है खासकर न्यू गुड़गांव के लोगों को। और गुड़गांव के अंदर कमर्शियल वाटर्स आप ट्यूबवेल से ले नहीं सकते क्योंकि पूरा तरह कमर्शियल बैन है, फिर भी ट्यूबवेल्स के तहत कुछ एरिया तो अभी कनेक्टेड नहीं है बसई कैनाल वाटर से और एनसीआर कैनाल से।
उठा लो। सुमति कटारिया इज आल्सो रेजिडेंट। सुमति जी, आप बताइए, आपके घर में आजकल आप कैसे मैनेज कर रहे हो?
हाँ, बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम है। एक भी बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम है पानी की। इट्स ऑलमोस्ट अ मंथ सिंस वी हैव वाटर and we have been asking for tankers every day actually. We taking water from the tankers. It's so difficult managing a family of 4. We don't have water to wash clothes, do the daily chores, everyday work. Has become so difficult. And this is Gurgaon. It's every year. Since almost last 5 years, we have been facing the same problem.
Raman Malik joins us right now. Raman Malik actually represents the government. Raman Malik, you've heard the citizens of Gurgaon speak. Please tell us, why is it that citizens of Gurgaon don't have water? For 1 month, they haven't had water. They don't have water to drink. They don't have water to run their houses.
First of all, Faye, let me tell you something. If I'm not wrong, I'm not able to see the face of Mr. Rathee. If he's the same person who lives in DLF Phase 1, he happens to also be representative of the Aam Aadmi Party in
come on.
Gurgaon.
Raman Malik, we don't do politics on these shows. Just answer the questions. Is there water coming to Gurgaon?
No, I am not doing
Do you say then that
politics.
Sumati and Shalini,
please let me answer.
both of whom are struggling to keep their houses running, are members of an opposition party? Can you step aside from your politics for a second and address the problems of your citizens?
Please. If I have
Raman Malik, tell me, is anything that anybody said here false?
You should permit me to do so.
Is anything that anybody said here false? Have you actually been giving rivers of water to the people of Gurgaon, and there are these people here politically motivated lying about it? Please tell me, what is the truth? Tell me the truth. How much water has gone to Gurgaon in the last 1 month?
No. Please let me listen. Faye, if this is how it is going to happen, I do not think this is the right way. If I'm putting a caveat in front on the onset, I should be permitted to do so. Having said that, there are a couple of issues. Yes, there was a water problem. Nobody is denying from it. There were multiple issues towards it. We had looked into it, and there are many things that we are doing which we cannot announce as of right now, because there are certain things which are also pointing towards some kind of criminal intent of certain people, which is being tracked upon. The first and foremost thing is there was a systematic busting of pipes, which has happened in
systematic busting of pipes, Raman Malik. Tell us what that means. For Shalini and Sumati, who don't have water coming into their houses, who have to send children to school, who have to go to work themselves, what is systematic bursting of pipes? Please explain to me how pipes systematically burst.
See, one must understand what has happened of late, and which we are investigating also. Barring the NH8 particular incident where the pipe got busted because of some construction work, the other things saw very systematic pattern. The systematic pattern that we saw, then there was a team which was constituted with the local police, Huda and MCG, and they started looking into the entire issue. And we are doing our searches. Very soon you may see a lot of action being taken on certain issues which Delhi got grabbed into. We are not going to let Delhi become something which Congress and AAP had made Delhi into. The water supply department was with the Congress earlier and now with Aam Aadmi Party. But here, to the level of CM's office, there are things which are being looked into. Very soon, a major crackdown is being planned, and those things would be effective. Number one. Number two, the other problem which arose onto many of private colonies in Gurgaon happened because of the feud which was there at times between the maintenance companies which were there of the developers and the residents. They were giving, there was a problem between their paying of maintenance and whatever.
Take responsibility, and tell me that the government of Haryana has failed the people of Gurgaon.
At least
when you collect local taxes, you make a commitment to provide water, electricity, sewage pipes. Systematic bursting of pipes is not good enough. And let me tell you, for our viewers, for the benefit of our viewers,
Gurgaon areas which are under MCG.
Let me tell our viewers what the timeline of this is. We'll also put it up on the screen. There was pipeline maintenance work that started on the 19th of April. 1 second. The Huda Chief Administrator Vikas Gupta asked for a report on it on the 10th of May. On the 4th of May, the Deputy Commissioner of Gurgaon, Hardeep Singh, issued a statement with details of water supply. He announced new zones that would be created for better supply. Then the Haryana Urban Development Authority, Huda, said that it had rectified all of the errors in its distribution line. This was quoted 19 hours ago. Rectified all of the errors and said that all households across all sectors will get normal water supply. Then he said, we have repaired 7-8 leaks over the past 2 or 3 months. Everything has been fixed. The leakages that happened due to negligent digging by contract workers, it has all been fixed. Water will now arrive. We now understand water has not arrived. So either you're not doing your job, or you're lying to the press about it, or you're a complete failure. Vimlendu Jha, there is an understanding between citizen and government that when we pay taxes, house tax, property tax, we pay local taxes, that water, electricity, sewage will be provided. That understanding has broken down in the city of Gurgaon, and for everybody else in the country who's also facing a problem, our phone lines are open.
Would you let me complete my statement?
Vimlendu Jha.
Would you let me complete my statement?
I'll come back to you. Go ahead, Vimlendu Jha.
So if you look at this fate, this is an actual case of mismanagement. It's a case of institutional incompetence, lack of political will. By the way, what the BJP spokesperson is actually talking about right now, in 2016, their own hydrology department actually said that their water table has actually reached the dark zone. So, which actually means that it's actually 20 meters below the national average of groundwater that we are actually talking about. So, it's a great situation, and it's a man-made situation that we're talking about. In Gurgaon, in several areas, most of the lakes are actually the small lakes around Ifko Chowk, for example, that were actually recharging the groundwater table. They all have been choked. There's construction that is happening. So, it's a very unfortunate situation where the government is actually blaming the other party rather than taking ownership, because we've seen Gurgaon become a concrete jungle in last 2 decades, and this is because of the mafia that we actually have, which is the real estate mafia, and the misgovernance.
Was this government of 2.5 years responsible for making everything like that?
Yes.
So
when we talk about land reforms, people shout, opposition shout, and for your information, there are only 29 tube wells authorized for water in Gurgaon. 29 bore wells and one booster.
Raman Malik, Vimlendu Jha, let me ask this question of the citizens. Shalini, who is a resident of Gurgaon. Shalini, do you expect the BJP government of the last 3 years to fix the problem?
Even I am a resident of Gurgaon.
Have you got water in your house, Raman Malik? Is there water coming to your house? आपके घर में पानी आती है, Raman Malik ji?
Yes, I have.
How do you have water when Shalini and her neighbor here, Sumati and Shalini, उनके घर में पानी नहीं आती? आपके घर में पानी कैसे आ रही है? कहाँ से आ रही है? आप मुझे बता दीजिए. आपको preferential treatment कैसे हो रही है गुड़गांव में? क्योंकि आप गवर्नमेंट से हो इसलिए.
हाँ, मैं बताता हूँ ना मैम आप एक बारी सुनने की कोशिश तो करें.
हम तो सुन रहे हैं, आपके घर में पानी आ रहे हैं, शालिनी और सुमति जी के घर में तो पानी नहीं आ रही.
You would not listen to the other person.
बताइए, हम सुन रहे हैं.
Yes, let me at least finish my statement. Now what happens is, in a lot of places, there is a dispute between the management of the resident welfare associations or the people collecting maintenance from these societies, and they do not pay to the electricity department. Sushant Lok in particular, as you called up for the program, I inquired. Sushant Lok per se has not paid the electricity bill, and the booster supply gets affected with that. Now you tell me, the government till the point where the colony gets its water has already the water is there, but the boosting because of the maintenance not being paid and they're not been able to get electricity is happening. Now that is not a state problem, that is a very localized problem, and one must understand I do not say that there is no wrongdoing. There are some people who are doing wrongdoings. We have already identified them, and
let me tell you something else. Let me tell you something else,
so
Mr. Raman Malik. Water is a basic human right, and you're never allowed to cut off water, irrespective of who has not paid their bills. Point number one: it's a basic human right. I'm going to bring in the rest of our panelists. Vimlendu Jha, go ahead. Vimlendu Jha, go ahead.
Yes, so, I think, Faye, the first thing is for Mr. Raman Malik to understand that it is not a petty neighborhood RWA issue. Gurgaon is facing a problem, and nobody is saying that it's his government that is solely responsible for the water crisis. I think the solution will arrive only if we accept that there's a problem. I think that Mr. Malik is in complete denial and calling it a localized problem. Gurgaon, the way the urbanization has taken place and the way government has actually...
I am not at all in denial, sir.
Sir, the way urbanization has taken place and the way there's been no political will, that's the reason why the water table has gone down. Most of your water bodies, surface water is contaminated, groundwater is either contaminated or is at 37 meters, sir. This is scientific data from your own department. So it is not about a booster here and a booster there. Please understand that there is a water crisis in India, and that water crisis is in aggravated form in Gurgaon because people like yourself and governments like yourself are extremely incompetent or indifferent towards understanding and addressing problems like these.
I do strongly object with that.
Members of the
it
panel,
is not
S.K
the government
Agarwal
which
is the former member of
we have
the
already
Central
made
Water
the plan
Commission.
for bifurcating the Gurgaon area into multiple zones to monitor it better.
S.K. Agarwal is the former member of the Central Water Commission.
So that micromanagement can be done.
Mr. Agarwal, is the problem in Gurgaon a problem of mismanagement? Could the government have done better?
Actually, the problem in Gurgaon is similar problem as is faced by other cities. Actually, this is the system of the administration and the government which allows the developers to build and develop the colonies after colonies, and without the government providing the necessary basic facilities. This is only the Gurgaon is not there. This is the problem in all the cities. Even in Noida, where I am a resident, I find that the similar problems happening here also. But the solution lies with the cooperation of all, including the government, including the public. Public should try to manage and try to monitor the pilferage of water, because again it is a government's duty, we know. But again, unless and until public in whose colonies the pipes are bursting or the people are stealing the water by puncturing the water lines, unless and until they cooperate with the government and they inform the government, yes, this is happening in this area, please attend to it. So this system can improve only with the cooperation and of course by action, prompt action by the government.
Prompt action by the government. Do you believe, Mr. S.K. Agarwal, that that prompt action has come so far?
I can't say about Gurgaon because I have never dealt with the Gurgaon city urban system. But I can say from my experience from the Delhi and the Noida. In Delhi, I was the member for some time in Delhi Jal Board, and in Noida, I am a resident, and in Central Water Commission, I was dealing with the water, not particularly the water supply, which is not the function of the Central Water Commission, as a overall Indian subject, but not a locality-wise subject.
I just want to bring in the last couple of voices. The last couple of voices. Pradeep is also a water management expert. Pradeep Purandare. Pradeep, go ahead. Do you believe the situation has been mismanaged? Can Pradeep hear me? R.S.Rathee, you've been called an Aam Aadmi Party member. Is there a declaration that you also want to give to Mr. Raman Malik before you tell us what is wrong and why the RWAs of Gurgaon have not paid their bills?
I am the president of the Gurgaon Citizens Councils and DLF Kadunke Resident Welfare Association last 15 years. I am working for the water for the whole Gurgaon. I will explain the conditions of the Gurgaon. There is no independent feeder in the Chandubudeda plant. The erratic water supply. Second, the all connections Zone 1 and Zone 2 rising main.
Taken off the question.
Sir, please listen to me. You don't know the ground reality. Please listen to me. In Gurgaon, in the new
Mr.
Gurgaon,
Rathee, I even know your past, so do not try and tell me. I know the time that you started all of this. I have also been in DLF phase 1. I was in the construction industry also, so I know your past. Don't try and start off.
I am not a builder. I am not contestant. I am the constructing only private houses, not the low-rise houses. You don't know about me. I am working for the last 15 years for the Gurgaon. I have taken the Gurgaon issues.
Raman Malik, if you can't handle criticism, Raman Malik, if you can't handle criticism from a citizen, handle it from the opposition, okay? Ashish Dua is a member of the Congress party. Ashish Dua, please tell Raman Malik what you think of the management of the water situation in Gurgaon. Ashish Dua is coming in as a member of the opposition. Now face him directly. He's telling you where he's coming from. Ashish Dua, go ahead. Ashish Dua, go ahead.
I'm the president of
I am not here for a slanging match like the other panelists, and I would request to give me 2 minutes because I've been listening to everybody's viewpoint.
Go ahead, Ashish.
And I can list a few critical issues in Gurgaon. Like Shalini and Sumati have raised, and Mr. Rathee is also a resident of Gurgaon. Mr. Malik is resident of Gurgaon, but he is denying the fact denying the problems, trying to say that this is a systematic subversion of the pipelines, but it is not so. It is, point number one, it is a systematic pilferage from the water treatment plants which water mafia is indulging in, from Basai and from Budhera treatment plants. And the same water is being sold in the open market by these water mafia, which the government, the administration has failed to stop. It is a prime responsibility of the law enforcement agencies in Gurgaon to undertake and to prevent such things. But I mean, if you see in Gurgaon or other BJP ruled states, the good governance has also a shortfall. It has got reduced to go governance. When you are talking of creating UIDs for cows, then the entire effort of the administration and focus of administration is towards such issues, not towards the real issues that are facing the residents of the town. Second important thing, Gurgaon in last monsoon had a massive jam on the highways. The prime reason was that the desilting of the drains was not done in time because the administration was sleeping. So, likewise, the summer is approaching and the summer has just started. The administration has not done enough to curb this water shortfall. What has happened? Apart from that, there's power outages in Gurgaon. 6 to 9 hours of power shortfall is there. And Mr. Rathee also likewise pointed out that the pumps are not being able to run in the water treatment plants because of power shortfall. And the power shortfall is primarily because of the reason that there's a Jharli power station in Jhajjar in Haryana, and Haryana government has given away its right of 683 megawatt of power. That's why there's a power shortfall in Haryana right now.
To whom have they given up the right?
The government, they've given away the right of Haryana on that power, which was the first right, being the power generation state of state. Haryana government has given away that right. Water is one thing, power is another thing.
Who have they given up that right? Who's taken that right?
Third.
My question remains,
sewage treatment is a third. The recent Swachh Bharat survey, Gurgaon has fallen from 36th rank to 112th rank. And primarily this government is responsible because they talk of Swachh Bharat, they talk of Namami Gange.
Okay. I want to take this. So I understand your point about Swachh Bharat. I understand your point about electricity. I want to stay on point on water because we are running a water campaign right now on Mirror. Now, 1 second, Ashish, I gave you far more than 2 minutes. Ashish, I gave you far more than 2 minutes. To our viewers who are watching at home, we are running a campaign on water. Ashish, please.
And these are relevant points what I'm talking.
I did not dispute your points. I consider them very relevant. Now allow me to address my audience, Ashish. To everyone watching at home, we are taking up water and scarcity of water, and at the bottom of your screen is a phone line that is open. If you feel that your neighborhood should also be taken up on a national level, on a national channel to make your government accountable, get in touch with us and we will take up the issue. The worst affected right now is Gurgaon. Now, Raman Malik, you've heard everyone speak. I have a couple of questions for you, Raman Malik. Has, given the inability of the government of Haryana to ensure people like Shalini and Sumati's families of water in their pipes, have you at least tested all of the water that the tankers are supplying? Do you know if that water is safe for human consumption?
Ma'am, let me just start off with this.
No, it's a very simple yes or no question, actually.
I very categorically said that the government... No, it is not a very simple question. Let me answer it with the facts. The government and the local administration, after seeing what was happening in the last 2 months, understood certain things and presumed that there are certain things and started investigation. Those investigations were led by 3 people, two engineers, one from Huda and one from MCG, and a ACP level person from the police. And we have identified what is going wrong. Those people and whatever the systems that were prevalent in Delhi in the last 15 years or let's say 12 years, 13 years are trying to be implemented here, which we are not going to let happen. Number one, which is very clear. If somebody thinks they can run those systems here, they must understand that they should pack their bags
the portability of tanker water. Do you know if it is safe for human consumption? It is going into people's homes. We have 2 people on the show right now who tell us that they've got tanker water coming into their houses. Do you know if that tanker water is safe? Is my question. Stop dodging my question and give me the answer. Have you tested the tanker water? Do you know if it is safe? So today Shalini is sitting on my show. Raman Malik, 1 minute. Today Shalini is sitting on my show. Tomorrow her child is going to have a shower. He might swallow some of the water that has come from a tanker. Do you know if it is safe for him to swallow water when he's brushing his teeth? Do you know if it is safe for him to swallow water when he's taking a shower? Do you know if it is safe for him to wash his hands in that tanker water and then eat his lunch? Do you know? As the government, have you checked? Is my question. The answer should either be yes, we have, or no, we have not. Give me one of the 2 answers.
One thing which I can confirm to you, one thing which I can confirm and commit to you is tomorrow morning itself, with the DC, with the Commissioner MCG, I'm going to sit down and make sure that all the norms which are prescribed for water tankers are to be made mandatory.
And your MLAs only blamed your government.
I'm going to sit down with them right there. That is one.
The Chief Minister and the government administration has ignored Gurgaon. Your own MLA, BJP MLA is blaming.
You, sir, represent a person who has killed Gurgaon.
Viewers of Gurgaon, one second, gentlemen of the government, one second, please.
Now, please.
1 second, allow me to address the people of Gurgaon. The people of Gurgaon. What we have established on this show, 1 second, Raman Malik, what we have established on this show is that the government has done no checks whatsoever. The BJP and the Congress, I do not have time for your infighting. If you need to fight among each other, there are other channels that will give you a platform to bicker about you and me and you. I don't have time for it on this platform. I don't care about your politics. Please wait till another channel calls you so you can talk about your politics. I need to communicate with my viewers. To the viewers of Gurgaon, we have just established on this show that your government has done absolutely no checks on tanker water. We've had actual doctors on this channel who have told us that if you are not sure about the quality of the water, do not use it to wash your hands, do not use it to take a shower, do not use it to brush your teeth, because you may swallow some when you do that, and that will cause you to get very sick. Your children can get very sick from waterborne diseases. Be very careful. Unfortunately, you have no option because your government, 1 second, Mr. Raman Malik, your government has made absolutely no contingency plan for you. They have not given you water and they have not checked the tanker water either. KK Sharma is on the phone line from Chandigarh. KK Sharma, go ahead, we can hear you.
I can, if you can point 5 places where water is scarce, I can point you 5 places where water is
Go
there,
ahead,
man.
Mr. Sharma. You heard Raman Malik's question. Give him 5 places where water is scarce in Gurgaon.
Localized.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Sharma,
Hello.
go ahead. We can hear you.
I said if there are
my name is A.K. Sharma, not K.K. Sharma.
Okay, Mr. A.K. Sharma, go ahead. Raman Malik, please listen to my viewer.
I would like to just put it across that it is just not a case of problem with Gurgaon or Bangalore. It is pan-India that we are lacking the management of water, whether it is in the terms of quantity or quality, both ways. Water management is not there. As such, we do not know. We should not take a piecemeal approach to the problem. Rather, we should go for a holistic approach to the problem, which requires the intervention of the union government. Because here the Article 21 of the Constitution, which says right to life means right to good quality of air and good quality of water. So that is being impacted. Now, if you want to save the life of the people, millions of people are falling ill because of the consumption of bad quality of water, and millions of people do not have access to potable water in our country. So we need to have a national level body, independent regulatory commission, free of political control.
Absolutely. Very well said, Mr. A.K. Sharma. I will take this to Vimlendu Jha about a proper plan. We're demanding it on our screen. Accountability at the local level, but planning at the central level, because the central government has to take responsibility, and I'll tell you why. According to Article 21 of our Constitution, water is a fundamental right. It is our right as citizens of this country. Whoever we are, at whatever level, if you're living in a gated community or you're living in the street, you have a right, a fundamental right, an unargued right to clean water. Vimlendu Jha, governments after governments have let us down.
Absolutely. So, we're talking about surface water that is polluted and groundwater is more polluted. I should tell you that in 2016, the Standing Committee on Water Resources of the Indian Parliament actually recommended that we should have a national groundwater database. And that should be actually updated every 2 years. Till date, we don't have a database. We don't even know how much water do we actually have or do not have. If you look at the statistics that we have from NASA and from other scientific organizations all around the world, most of our aquifers, almost 60% of India's aquifers are in critical condition. Surface water, you can see a frothing and a foaming lake because it's visible. That pollution is very visible. But what is happening under the ground, and that again is almost 50 to 60% of potable water, drinking water source, is extremely critical. So we, of course, are in a very, very difficult situation. The impact that it has on drinking water. We talk about a country where almost 600 million people depend on agriculture and depend on water for agriculture. So industry, agriculture, drinking water, all of it together is really in a stressful situation. You have the numbers of farmers committing suicide. You actually have people queuing up to really fetch 5 liters of water in urban areas. And then you have Mr. Malik and other political parties at the same time. And it's not just BJP or Congress or AAP. The entire political class of our country does not even understand how grave the situation is. Year after year, by the way, every year in most urban areas, our water table is going down by 1 meter. And this data is from their own state government and central government. And are they doing anything about it? Nothing.
What are we doing about it? Do we have a central water plan? No, we don't, because it's a state subject. Let me tell you, Mumbai has 1,000 MLD less water in supply than it has in demand. Bangalore, demand of 1,450, supply 1,350. Chennai, demand of 830, supply 550. Same problem with Delhi, with Hyderabad, and I could go on. Raman Malik, representing the BJP that runs Haryana and runs the central government. I'll ask my question again. Potable water, which is clean water, which we can drink, is a fundamental right. Why is it that the people of Gurgaon do not have potable water? Why is the government of Haryana violating their fundamental rights? Why have you not checked the portability of the water that's coming in through tankers?
For your information,
and for the information of the viewers which are across the country. So for the country's information, Mr. Raman Malik, don't patronize me, not for my information, for Sumati's information, for Shalini's information, for the information of the country.
No.
Now go ahead.
No. I must say this because I've already said this on your show right now. Let me tell it again. As per for Gurgaon is concerned, they are supposed to, the tankers are supposed to collect water from the supply area of Huda, which then is distributed by MCG. So they are supposed to take it from there as per ruling of the High Court.
Is that
they are
surface
authorized
water?
to collect it from there. That is one part of it.
Is that groundwater or surface
That is
water?
the water which is supplied by Huda to MCG. That is the one which comes from the canal and it's treated from the water treatment plant.
Okay, treated water from the water treatment
So they are
plant.
authorized to collect it from there.
Okay. Are you sure all tankers are getting it from that space?
That is one part of it.
S.S.Rathee,
As I
R.S.Rathee
said,
disagrees
please
with you.
let me
R.S.Rathee,
finish
go ahead.
it. As I said, they are authorized to collect it from there. They are authorized to collect it from there. That is one part of it. Whether all of them are doing or not, as I do not have the information, I very categorically told you that tomorrow morning itself I will meet these two people who take care of the city and immediately ask them for the particular issue, and if it is not implemented, I would like them to and request them to implement it ASAP. Now, nobody, I do not think you can find a very candid upfront answer than this.
Sure. Okay, let me just take this straight to Shalini and Sumati who are listening. Shalini, are you happy with that candid upfront answer from your government?
Too late.
I'm not happy with that answer. Reason being, I do not want to be dependent on tankers. Tanker is no solution. We want a permanent solution. We have been dependent on tankers for the last 5 years almost. Every time in summers, this is the problem that we face. And you know, what you're talking about is the tankers taking water from Huda. I don't think so this is happening. They're actually taking water from the boring wells they have illegally made. Absolutely. And that is how the water is actually being sold. And that is the reason it's being sold for, you know, 1,000 for a 5,000 litre tanker. And he doesn't supply the total amount because we don't have that much of storage in our houses. The maximum storage we have is 2,000 litres. The rest, they actually sell it to somebody else. So that's a mafia that's happening, which needs to be actually stopped. Tanker is no solution to our problem. Our problem can be solved only by the government looking into what is the actual problem. Infrastructure is a big problem in
Shalini ji, in more, in as many words as I could, I've already indicated you and the viewers of this channel that whatever was going on in Delhi and other places in the last 12 years will not be allowed to happen here. We have certain reports. We will be doing a major crackdown on certain things, which would be evidently visible in the media also very soon to you.
But I cannot say so, Raman Malik, you've been in power in Gurgaon for how long, please, for the my information?
Very soon.
For my information and the information of our viewers, how long has the BJP been in power in Haryana?
It's 2.5 years.
2.5 years, okay.
So
very soon is when? Is it at the end of this year? Is it the end of next year? Is it at the end of the term?
Probably within this coming week. You never know.
And these big moves that you're making within the coming week, what are these big moves, Mr. Malik?
We are going to act.
What are these big moves, this big crackdown that you're talking about? What is this
I will not be able to disclose that on the TV, please. All those people who have been doing this ruckus of selling water will have to face dire consequences. And if they are found to be people who are doing this stuff by doing some mischief or the other and creating problems, they will not be spared.
Okay, now here's my question. I appreciate what you're saying, Raman Malik. I appreciate what you're saying. Even if it's 2.5 years too late, for the benefit of our viewers, Raman Malik has promised us a crackdown on the water tanker mafia in the next 1 week in Gurgaon, which I really appreciate. So, once you crack down on the water tanker mafia and the water tanker mafia is no longer functioning, how will Sumati and Shalini get water in their houses if the tankers don't come?
Primarily three things are happening, Faye. One, the Gurgaon area is being redesigned as for supply is concerned. We are bifurcating it in multiple zones so that the distribution can be checked in a very effective manner. That is number one. Number two, all those points which have been causing,
How long will that take, Mr. Malik? How long will that take?
21, 22, 23 in specific.
How long will that take?
Ma'am, I am not an engineer and I do not look into the day-to-day working, but I can assure you that I would be following this up. That much I can do. I
don't expect you to be an engineer. I'll tell you why I'm asking. Because you said in 1 week you will crack down on the tankers, but there is no deadline for when the water will come to their houses. What are they going to do? Wash their clothes with Bisleri water?
I am... You please listen to me. The current system also is capable to dispense water. The problem is at various... No, the problem is that various people at various positions have not been doing certain things right.
They're in your government. How can you sit here today? How can you sit here today and tell me various people at various positions are not doing their job? They're in your government. This is a government that promised us a Bhrashtachar-free India. This is a government that promised us our fundamental rights.
They are people, even citizens. No, fair. Try and understand. Tell me something. If tomorrow DLF, which takes the maintenance charges from the DLF residents, is not paying up the electricity department, and thus there is a dispute between electricity department and DLF, who is responsible for that? Is the government responsible for that?
Yes, the government is responsible because it is your duty to provide everybody in Gurgaon with clean water to drink. It is their fundamental right.
No,
it is enshrined in our constitution that you cannot cut off someone's water supply because they have not paid their bill. You cannot cut off someone's water supply if their house is illegal. You cannot cut off someone's water supply because you are bickering with somebody, whether that is DLF or your electricity board or someone else. Tell me, what is the fault of Sumati and of Shalini, who are sitting on this panel right now? What is their fault if you are bickering with the DLF RWA? It is nobody's fault. It is the government's responsibility. Stop passing the buck. Stop passing the buck.
I demand an answer from you. If you and your developer have a problem, how am I responsible for that?
You have to still provide water. You have to still provide water. As per the Constitution of India, you have to still provide water. Where is the water?
Of a particular development is still with the developer. Please understand.
Where is the water?
The maintenance of the developer.
Stop giving me stories, Raman Malik. Where is the water?
And there's a dispute between
Rajiv is on the phone line from Gurgaon. Rajiv, go ahead.
I make a quick point.
1 second, Vimlendu, I just want to hear this. Raman Malik,
you will understand where the water is.
Enough. Rajiv, go ahead.
Minister is, Honorable BJP Speaker is...
No, please don't call that enough the way you're doing.
Yeah.
Rajiv, go ahead.
The water is the basic need. It's a fundamental right. It should be provided through taps at first place. For each and every citizen, wherever he is living, whichever his locality he is living. Gurgaon is the face of Haryana. It is Millennium Town. If we can't get water here, where else will get in Haryana? I wonder. My request is that water should be provided to everyone. As long as you can't provide, then provide subsidized water in the tanker. And drilling
subsidized water, they should provide free water. I agree with you. Now, since Raman Malik is not able to come up with a solution, here's a solution. Raman Malik, you said, and I'm quoting you, that all of these tankers are supposed to be getting their water from Huda. How difficult would it be then for you to make sure as government that every tanker only refills from Huda and gives people in Gurgaon free, clean water that can be tested from the government? It is the government's inability to do their job. Also, let me remind the government of Haryana that Gurgaon has 48,35,769 households, all of whom pay you taxes. You have absolutely no excuse for your lack of planning. You also in Gurgaon have a total of 406 companies. You have 83 new office buildings coming up. Where are they getting their water from? Are companies like Pepsi and Goodyear and Suzuki and British Airways, where are they getting their water from? Are you giving them preferential treatment? Why are you giving these companies permission to set up 83 new commercial buildings when you obviously have no ability to provide water to that entire neighborhood? Now, these are all questions that the government of Haryana needs to introspect on, because you have failed on every account.
And I would request you to also come up with the figures of these offices that you claim are opening and how many of them have been given licenses from this government. Please.
So you're telling me there are offices opening in the government and you've not given them licenses?
Those figures to you.
You've not given them licenses. These are not licenses that have come from you.
Those buildings that you are calling, those buildings, ma'am, those buildings that are being constructed, how many of them have been given licenses to construct in this government? Please go and find those figures. You will come to know.
Please,
that is number one. Number two, now please
I've
listen
tracked
to the
real
facts.
estate very closely. I know that governments don't blink an eye before giving a stop work notice if they believe that a building is illegal. If you believe buildings are illegal, stop the work. Do not complain about previous governments. You've been around for 2.5 years. Harsh is on the phone line from Noida. This is not a good enough excuse. Raman Malik, if you believe that the building doesn't have permission or you don't believe that building should stand, stop the work, send a notice. Harsh is on the phone line from Noida. Harsh, go ahead.
Please understand, what do you want? You want the government to just go and crack down on everybody constructing who's been given license in the past 5 years or 10 years?
Raman Malik, I want water.
You have to go as per the law of the land. I cannot break the law of the land.
Raman Malik, I want water. Jaldan, sabse punya ka kaam hota hai, Raman Malik. I want water.
The government is holding back the water.
I want water, Raman Malik. You're asking me what I want. I want water.
You want water, ma'am. This is no...
Shalini, what do you want, Shalini? What does your family want? Please tell Raman Malik what you want. Shalini, what do you want? Tell us what you want. Why are you here on this show?
Make a quick point.
We want clean water.
We just want water.
Vimlendu Jha.
What do you want? Ma'am, I'm again and again saying, if there's a problem between the residents and the developer who's entitled to give these services as per license to develop, till the time the colony is handed over to the municipal corporation.
Who will check on the developer?
These colonies, does that mean that it is not your responsibility?
Mr. Malik, you can send someone and see that we have paid for all our maintenances, for our
the DLF phase 1, 2, 3 have been taken over by MCG after passing special clauses. This government is going out of the way. This government is mending the laws to get the people the services that they are entitled to as a right.
Yeah, Vimlendu Jha, go ahead. Vimlendu Jha wants to make a point. Vimlendu Jha, go ahead.
We need to understand that, one, that Gurgaon does not have water and Gurgaon does not have clean water. I want Mr. Raman Malik to know that is he aware that in just last year their hydrology department said that the water table has actually gone into the dark zone, which means that there's no water at all. They are one of the worst places in the country. If that's the situation, we could keep talking about tanker and other issues which are very, very important. But if there's no water and whatever water that is there is
Mr. Jha, I have inherited that.
Fine, sir. Why did you contest
Mr. Jha, I have inherited that. I am fighting the same battle as you are.
So let me just once and for all put this inheritance to rest. Okay, Shalini, did you vote in the 2014 election? Do you remember if any party came up to you in the 2014 election and said, we will only be able to do work if you give us 10 years? We are inheriting a bad system. So let me point out to you in the very beginning that vote dene ke baad bhi achhe din tabhi aayenge, maybe 10 saal baad, because the system is bad, so there's nothing we can do. What were the promises that were made in 2014? Promises were achhe din aayenge. Bhrashtachar Mukt Bharat. 2 clear promises. Have you kept those promises? Also, for the benefit of our viewers in Gurgaon and the rest of the country where the water table is receding sharply, remember, in response to an RTI query from the central government's groundwater authority, it revealed that elements like fluoride and chloride have increased steeply in Gurugram, in some cases more than 200%, making your groundwater, borewell water, completely unsafe to drink.
Absolutely.
If there is anybody in Gurgaon using tanker water and you don't know whether it has come from a bore well or any other kind of source, remember, you cannot drink it. You cannot cook with it, you cannot wash your vessels with it, you cannot brush your teeth with it, you cannot shower with it, you cannot wash your hands with it. You can at very best water your plants and wash your clothes with that water. Please remember, this is for your safety. It is a message that your government will not give you, so we are giving it to you here on this channel. Harsh is on the phone line from Gurugram. Harsh, go ahead.
I'd like to just make a point what the BJP representative is talking about. He's just talking about the feud between DLF or whoever the other developers are. But I'm living in a sector which is of Huda, Sector 21, and Sector 21, 22, 23 are reeling under this water crisis for the last 1 month. That's the government's responsibility. There is no RW.
I know. I have pointed
it out. There is no electricity issue which is running right now, and I don't see why. And knowing fully well that this crisis was coming up, I think the government should have been well prepared in advance. It's been over a month now that we've been running helter-skelter to get water, and water tankers are running over here and there everywhere. How are they getting their water? And there is no check definitely on the water that is coming from the tankers.
That is true. Raman Malik, I have to wrap up this show. I'm going to give you one opportunity to make a commitment to the people.
You have to give me, let me give a chance,
Give me a chance.
Okay, very quickly, R.S.Rathee, very quickly, go ahead, very quickly.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
All that I'm saying is on your show, prior to the gentleman who spoke on the phone line, I very categorically said
1 second, you're not talking at the same time. Raman Malik, 1 second. Mr. Rathee wants to make a point. Raman Malik, 1 second.
Because that's the last point.
Mr. Rathee, go ahead.
Sure.
Total requirement of the Gurgaon in the 140 MGD. Right now, Huda is supplying on the 70 MGD or 10 MGD by the MCG. And there is no dispute between the DLF resident versus DLF. We are paying the maintenance charges as well as the tax. We have paid the 180 crore in the MCG in the last quarters, maximum tax, but we are not getting the waters. There are three solutions are there. The government side did the rainwater harvesting last 2 years. कोई भी रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग की है और उसके बाद नो वाटर मैपिंग इन द गुड़गांव कहां पर जोन 1 के अंदर कितना पानी सप्लाई है, जोन 2 के अंदर कितना, जोन 3 के अंदर कितना है, और अंडरग्राउंड टैंक सफिशिएंट नहीं बनाए लास्ट 2 इयर्स में. गवर्नमेंट ने पानी के
Ashish 30 seconds. Ashish 30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, I would agree with Mr. Malik when he said various people at various positions, right from administration to the chief minister's level, are not working properly, are shirking their responsibility, and that is correct. That is what is happening in Gurgaon. What has happened in Gurgaon? You didn't have a full-time municipal commissioner for 2 years. And then you have been talking about Gurgaon Development Authority, which the bill has not been passed as promised in the last assembly session. So this government, like Sumati, Shalini, like Rajiv,
don't make political accusations here. Let me just put it in a nutshell for Mr. Raman Malik. Ashish, 1 second. Mr. Raman Malik, I appreciate that you've come onto the show and answered the questions as you always have. Our demands on this show continue to remain the same thing. Robust urban infrastructure for water supply, a crackdown on the water mafia to make sure that the people who are supplying water in tankers are actually supplying clean water across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are getting tanker water, do not drink it. Also, that the people of Gurgaon get clean potable water that they can drink. Raman Malik, it is a fundamental right. Also to our viewers at home, my contact details are on your screen, and so are the contact details of the entire channel. Get in touch with us if you're facing a similar problem. We will bring up your city. We're going to go city by city and we're going to demand answers. Raman Malik has said that he will have an answer for us in a week's time. We're going to ask him again in a week what the answer is and why the people of Gurugram can now have clean water when they can have clean water. That's a wrap of this discussion of the urban debate. Thanks for watching.